Hey, Cherie.
Hello.
It's so funny. Wait, when I say hey, Cherie, Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Oh my God. Look, we've talked about navigating, we've talked about adjusting. Now I want to know, what are you recommending and doing to help your clients not just get through, but to thrive when we come out of this?
Well, the thing that comes to mind first is that right now, even with trying to have that can-do spirit, and even with trying to shift what I shared with everyone the last interview, there is still this feeling of a loss of control, and
Hmm.
especially when it comes to the aspect of money, because you are limited. You can't. Many businesses can't even operate at all. They haven't been able to shift as much as they would have liked, and so they're literally shut down, and so they can't make money. So therefore they're limited with money, and they're not sure when they're going to be able to really truly start making the money that they were making before. And so as a result, that feeling of that lack of resource, that lack of that monetary resource,
Hmm.
is really weighing heavy on businesses right now, even with having some stimulus support as well. And so what all businesses need to understand, and something that became very evident to companies that still grew and still thrived in the Great Recession.
Hmm.
And you are seeing some companies that are actually thriving right now, and it's because they understand that there's actually three other resources above and beyond money, and
Okay.
that is time, technology, and people.
Okay, so in other words, shift the focus from your
Mhm.
shift from limitations to resources.
Exactly.
Okay.
How can you leverage resources that you do have control over? You don't have control over how much money you can make right now or when you can start making money. And I get it. It's frustrating, but you do have control of your time. You
Mm.
do. You do. And time is an asset. Time, I had an epiphany about 15 or so years ago when I came rushing into the office and I said, "Oh, I wish there were more hours in the day." I said it out loud in exasperation. And my office manager at the time, bless her little heart, but I mean it very heartfelt, because she didn't even blink an eye, and she said, "Well, you have the same amount of time as everybody else. It's just the way you use it."
Hello.
And I wanted to slap her because I wanted her to say,
Option
"Oh no,
one.
I wanted her to be a cheerleader. Oh no, you can do it." But oh my gosh, she was so right. She was so right. Nobody gets 25 hours in the day. Nobody gets 23. We all get 24 hours in the day.
Hmm.
And that very moment, I viewed time in a totally different way for myself, and started helping clients view time as the true asset that it was.
Ah,
And we've
okay.
all heard the phrase "time is money, time is money,"
Hmm. Hmm.
to the point of ad nauseum, making people feel devalued instead of valued. And so I had an issue with that. And so
Uh-huh.
I said, okay, time is an asset, and how people spend their time is valuable. And so how do people spend their time in a business? All different people within a company. And I came up with what I call the income-based time management
Mm.
assessment of
Okay.
time, and how
Okay.
everyone is spending their time in the company.
Okay. Okay.
And
And then
so
you do what? You break it down according to
I've broken it
department
down
or?
into 5 buckets of time.
Okay.
So the 5 buckets of time are income generating,
Hmm.
income producing, income supporting, income sustaining, and income enhancing. Okay. And so uh, it's really powerful when you start to think about it.
Hmm.
So income generating is any time spent promoting, marketing, selling, getting people to buy what you offer.
Okay.
Anything involved. So whoever's involved in that in your company, they are involved in income generating. Income producing is actually delivering. Somebody buys, okay, because income generating worked, And so now income producing is delivering what you've sold.
And that's
Whether
an
it's a
important
product,
distinction. Yeah,
whether it's a
yeah.
product, whether it's a service, whether it's something that's manufactured and you got materials handling and everything else. It's anything and everything that goes into making that product or delivering that program.
Yes.
Income supporting is the absolute operational aspects of your business that keep it humming along. Accounting, IT, technology, operations like maintenance and safety, HR and managing, benefits and things like that. Anything and everything that is around supporting the operations of your company and making it run smoothly. That's income supporting. Income sustaining is any activity that's going to keep income flowing into your business. And so this really has a variety of things. Customer relations. Companies that have good customer relations have good customers that keep buying. That's income sustaining.
Yes.
Cash flow management. And that's why I get at receivables and payables and how you manage those. Keeps the cash flowing, which keeps income sustainable in your business. Short-term and long-term contracts, that also, estimating, all of that is, I put in the income sustaining category. And then the fifth one, income enhancing, is anything that's going to build value in your company, whether it's innovation, whether it's leadership succession. So you have, every business should hope that they have a business that could be sold someday, that somebody would actually want to buy or acquire. And so the income enhancing is around that. I also put training, both soft and technical, under income enhancing, because if you elevate someone's skill set, it makes your company more value to the customer, and chances are it also be more valuable to someone interested in buying your company and all the amazing people that are in it. And then, proprietary, having something that's proprietary to you is another way of having income enhancement in your company.
Wow. And it's interesting because they say, through a storm, this is where innovation comes. So that sounds like a good blueprint for a startup company.
Oh, very much so. And, and like I've said before, a startup company, first of all, they don't have any money. When you start a business, you have no money. So you have to use your time very effectively to income generate. So you have a reason to income produce, and then the whole aspect of leveraging technology and leveraging people inside and outside of your company is extremely important. So understanding, especially as a startup, how you're leveraging your time is extremely important.
And so now the technology weaves into the time management.
Oh, it totally does, because technology, of course, the best technology saves you time, right? So
it makes it zoom, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So and think about, technology impacts how you generate, how you spend time generating, how you spend time producing. A good example I have is a company, a cabinet maker, who was spending so much time on estimating because he was doing all this, and it was actually impacting his ability to produce because he was the craftsman. And so he invested in a estimating program that integrated with his accounting system, and all of a sudden he could spit out estimates, and he could focus more on his income producing and generating time. And so again, technology can help in all aspects of a business to save time in ways that allow your people to do what they were really hired to do. And let their skills shine and not get mired by some of the things that technology could help make easier for them.
And you touched on people, but I want to just take a deep breath right here, because right now you've talked about the time and the technology, and I know people is your third resource, not limitation, but resource. But you've been doing something that I think is wonderful and that's been helping your clients. You want to talk a little bit about your signs in your house?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I was reading a book recently, and it said to when you're going through a challenge, or you're feeling very limited, or whatever it is, or you're just frustrated, you just take a moment, take a deep breath, and just say, "Thank you for this gift."
Mm.
And I thought about this, and I'm like, first of all, I'm like, a gift. Okay, we're limited. We can't do this. We can't go out. We can't. so, so I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, I'm gonna be in the moment with this. And so I just decided to start, we're stuck in my home. So I just decided to explore my home. I went exploring in my home. And I realized I had all these wonderful inspirational plaques and sayings and phrases all throughout my home. And it reminded me how when people visit, which they couldn't right now,
Mm-hmm.
but when people visited, that they were like, oh, they just felt so good in my home because I had all this wonderful inspiration surrounding them. So I decided to, in the month of April, from the 1st to the 30th, every day I would post an inspiration from my home to yours. And it got such great, it was a great way to just let people take that moment. And it was very cool when people would say, I just needed to see that today.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, and that was just taking some of my time
Yeah.
to, and leverage, and again, just being thankful for what I already had. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's really important too.
Yeah. Because.
And,
Uh-huh.
and I think, going to, let's, segue into, the people aspect of this.
Exactly.
And, one of the frustrations I'm hearing business owners have is, especially if they got the stimulus and it's supposed to be to pay their people, but they can't bring all their people back in to do the job they were hired to do because they're limited. And when, because of this phased in, program of getting back into and out of this pandemic. And so here's what I have to say is, part of a valuable aspect of technology is looking at what you already have available through the technology that you already have.
Okay.
And you probably, and I like to call it data mining. All right. And so you look at your customers and their and how and who they are and how they are, and maybe you can segment them better so you can communicate with them better. Maybe some of the the data around how they order and when they buy and how they buy can be analyzed so that when you come out of this, you can leverage that information more effectively. So you've been giving the gift of time, whether you liked it or not in some
Mm-hmm.
ways. So why not bring some of your people back and have them help you do some of that stuff? Help them be a source of understanding your business better. Give them special projects until they can be fully engaged in what they were ultimately hired to do. They're going to appreciate being valued and being brought in to help the business survive and thrive. And so the other thing is to, how can you leverage other people outside of your business? That's your customer base. How are you communicating with your customers and letting them know that you really care about them and that this is what you're doing, this is what you've been doing, this is what they can expect? Again, how are you communicating with your suppliers and continuing that relationship building aspect of people and leveraging that aspect can be a godsend to you during this, getting out of this and thriving after this.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, we'll tie it all together in a knot for us, and a bow. Let's go with a bow. A knot is too restrictive, but I love that you've talked about overcoming the mentality of a limitation
Mm-hmm.
to focus on a resource, because we have to focus on the solution. So,
Right.
how do you bring us home?
Well, like I said, there's so many ways that you can propel your ability to make money at an even higher level. And that's if you are truly leveraging all of your resources. So focus on how you can leverage everyone's time, Focus on how you can leverage technology and maybe ramp up your technology in a way that you can be selling better, serving better. And then how can you combine both of those with your people inside and outside of your company to again propel your business forward instead of feeling like it's being held back. And that way you are truly ready. When you are fully able to be released into this world, you are truly ready to thrive and not just feel like you've just gotten through it.
And you certainly sound like you feel like that we will get through and thrive.
Oh, absolutely. Because I've seen it time and time again. I have. It really is possible. And it's just a matter of being open and being intentional and taking action.
All right. Well, thanks so much for taking action with us today.
You're welcome.
Like a broadcaster. But, in all seriousness, a lot of great food for thought there, Sherre. And listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope that we continue to bring you this type of food for thought that will help you stay calm in the storm and recognize that we will get through, because that usually is the goal. It's not to stay in the storm, but it's to get through the storm. So please tune in with us, the 2020 Visionaries of Charlotte. We're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, and you can always put some comments in the feed to help us with different topics that you may want us to discuss so that you can get some great formulas like Sherre just gave us. Thanks, Sherre.
Thank you.